Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin and welcome to another double take. Today I would like to talk about two genre films from 1992. Walter Hill's Trespass and Bernard Rose's Candyman. Now, one of them is a horror film, the other is a modern reworking of the Treasure of Sierra Madre, directed by famous action director Walter Hill. But it's more the fact that both of them depict the ghetto in similar ways. Before the early 90s, the ghetto wasn't really shown that much in films, and then John Singleton's Boys in the Hood came along in 1991, and that kind of blew the doors off. So it's interesting that these two films were made in the same year, but like I said, both different films, but with a similar idea about the ghetto. Both feature white protagonists going into the dangerous area of town for various reasons, getting into trouble and having a price to pay. So let's start with Candyman. This is the latest Arrow release, which is a lovely 2-disc restoration. Candyman is based on a Clive Barker story, but Bernard Rose pretty much just changed it and set it in the ghetto, and it's about the power of urban myth or horror stories that are passed down from word of mouth. In this one, Tony Todd plays the title character. If you look in a mirror and say his name 5 times, he'll appear and garrote you with his hook for a hand. Legend has it he fell in love with a plantation owner's daughter, and for revenge he got his hand cut off and killed with bees. So he comes back and kills people. So there's a whole raft of killings that have happened in the inner city, and Virginia Madsen plays a college student, even though she's quite old for a college student, who's doing a thesis on urban legend. Again, it's a really nice set by Arrow. It is one of the better Clive Barker adaptations, even though, like I say, it's the actual area where it takes place is kind of changed. It was originally a short story in Clive Barker's Books of Blood. And you get nice cards. But it's just, and it plays out and she gets involved with the Candyman. She goes under a kind of trance-like state, and obviously other killings happen that she gets the blame for, and it kind of spirals out of control until the rather nice ending, which I'm not going to spoil if people haven't seen it. I would highly recommend this Arrow edition. It's very nice. And Trespass, made in the same year by Walter Hill. Like I said, it's essentially the Treasure of Sierra Madre, but set in the St. Louis ghetto, and this stars William Sadler and Bill Paxton as two firemen who find a map to hidden church gold that was stolen, and then they find a map to a derelict area of St. Louis, which so happens to be in the territory of Ice-T's, I won't say gang, because in the film they refer it as they're businessmen. So Ice-T and Ice Cube, who obviously were famous rappers, and this was, I mean, Ice Cube was in Boys in the Hood, and then they would make the transition to acting. It's funny, if you're familiar with Ice Cube and Ice-T's kind of music career and rapping style, they pretty much play characters that are similar to their personas in the rap game. You know, Ice-T is more polished, you know, views himself as a businessman, you know, wears the sharp suits, the nice hat, whereas Ice Cube is more rough and rowdy. He's more street. He just wants to shoot everybody and blow stuff up. And again, this is 101 Films release. And again, it's got a really nice print and really nice special features, a couple of commentaries, and there's a nice book as well. It's funny because originally the title of this was going to be called Looters, and then the Rodney King trial happened and the LA riots happened, and there was no way they were going to call a film Looters, so that's why it got changed to Trespass. It's actually based on a script by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, who did Back to the Future, but obviously they thought Walter Hill would be a better choice to direct it. It is tons of fun. There's lots of faces that you'll recognise, including Art Evans from Die Hard 2, as the old homeless guy that William Sadler and Bill Paxton meet. It's because Bill Paxton accidentally witnesses Ice-T's business associates push somebody off the roof, and then they become witnesses and they get embroiled and they end up taking Ice-T's brother hostage, and through plot contrivances they find out about the gold. There's lots of nice kind of affiliations switch and change as Ice-T's gang gets more and more frustrated that they can't just kill the two white guys, and as they find out about the gold, side deals are done, and the inevitable shootout finale, double crossing type stuff. But it's more interesting, both these films are interesting in their depiction of the ghetto. Like I say, it's white protagonists going into black areas of the city, and obviously there's, like in Candyman, there's quotes about, you know, black people get killed all the time and nobody cares, but then something happens to a white person and it's a big deal and something's got to be done about it. There is a price to be paid for both, sets of white protagonists. And in the end, in Trespass, the treasure is more a symbol of greed, and the people who end up with it aren't necessarily the people who started looking for it. William Sadler, he plays the Humphrey Bogart character and gives a great performance. I mean, we're used to early Bill Paxton being the one who plays the Nutter, but this time it's William Sadler, who would then play several Nutters down the line. Bill Paxton gives more of a kind of innocent, naive kind of guy who's always looking for an out where nobody gets hurt. He just wants to leave, he just wants to forget about the gold, whereas William Sadler at that point is completely mad for the gold. And you kind of figure out there's only one way it's going to end. Greed and avarice usually has a result in films that's not too good for the protagonists. So these are both interesting films in themselves, in their genres. Like I say, Candyman's one of the better Clive Barker adaptations because it's kind of loosely based in Clive Barker's story, and Trespass is just a fun updating of the Treasure of Sierra Madre. But they're also interesting views of the state of American cities in the early 90s, obviously just before the LA riots, and obviously 25 years later the situation hasn't really got any better. It's amazing the number of films that you watch from the past and the same problems that they talk about or bring up still haven't been solved, which is really uplifting and cheerful to think about. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below whether you've seen these two films, what you think of them, and if you have any deeper socio-political views on how black people in the ghetto in these films are portrayed. And hopefully we'll see you again. This is Soldier Rowan saying thank you very much for watching.